Hi guys, it's Jessica here for some Dolly rambling. I tried my best to put up some lights so that we could see. It's just been gloomy all day, all week, all month. Winter is here. Oops, bumping the camera. But as you can see, Scarlet is home. So this is my Twigling Ingenieuse. She's an elf ingenue. She was a collaboration between Therese or Twigling and Nanolin, who is Magic Mirror. And so basically took a ingenue and Nanolin made some modifications to it, including the elf ears and the lips and the shapes of the eyes. So she's definitely ingenue, but with some very strong elf influence. And she also modified the hands and gave them long nails, and at the time gave her a larger bosom than was available, but Twigling has since then, there is now a size D bust. But so Scarlet was away. Fitzwig, who has been probably my most favorite face-up artist for my girls. I've just been really enjoying working with him on getting my dolls painted, and so she had been wearing some Doll Bakery Nova eyes, and they got stolen by New Hurla. But when Fitzwig took photos of her, you know, the finished face-up photos for portfolio, basically, he put in a pair of Oscar doll eyes. And I don't know if they're the same ones or not, but I had some just like that that came with my Lucy Wynn head. And so I stole them from her. And I'm totally, like, these are her eyes now. They're so beautiful. Just very sparkly eyes, and while I liked them in Lucy Wynn, I love them in Scarlet. So Scarlet is taking them. I may still, if I manage to get a pair of 12mm small iris Doll Bakery eyes in Nova, I will try them out because they might still end up for her, but we'll see. Doll Bakery, she had a sign-up list that she offered some spots on. I don't know, was that a month or so ago now? And I never got an email to confirm that she got me, that I'm on the waiting list. So I don't even know if I'm actually on the waiting list. We'll see. If at some point I can get my hands on those eyes. But I am just in love with her. She's wearing a dress that I had made for Alondria, actually. And I think it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's Scarlet style or not, but she's wearing it for right now because I'm really enjoying her on this. Scarlet, character-wise, and I don't know if I've talked about her in quite a long time, she is a fairy. She's a Lurulin, so she's part of the same race of fae that Hurla and Neela belong to. And she is a seamstress, and but she's a bit of a fighter too. So I always envisioned that she carries around a pair of sewing shears that function also as a sword. So I've always dressed her in kind of more rugged type clothes. Never a dress. She doesn't wear a dress. This is the first time I've ever put a dress on her. She usually wears pants and boots. So I'm just kind of enjoying her in this dress. She's very, very beautiful. And I think she has the ability to clean up and wear a gown, though maybe this isn't something that she'd be sitting around wearing. She's usually wearing something more functional. Yeah, I'm super happy to have her back. I've got a really nasty, it's not really bad actually, it's just a red mark where Lola jumped on me. She's either snuggle mode or let's play and wrestle, and she doesn't mean to hurt anybody, but she's kind of clumsy. So I have all my girls here because I was taking a picture for Pro Artist, Pro BJD Artist Day, and I did make a post on Instagram about it. I won't talk about it in this video. I might make another video discussing that a little more. But that's why they're all here kind of posed like they are. So the other thing that I really wanted to talk about was wig making. I have been watching videos on wig making for several months now, just watching any and all videos that I can about yarn wigs and alpaca wigs and different techniques for making them. So I decided I wanted to go ahead and try to make a wig again. I just haven't had the most success in the past, and I also really extremely hated the process. And it's a very long process to go through to make a wig. And if you're hating every minute of it, that makes it harder to get through and like stick with and finish. But I was determined to try again, and I am really, really happy with the results. Sorry for Lola snoring. She's like literally right underneath us here. But here is my Twiggling Pieta. This is Lady. She is Alondria's sister. I tried the wig on her and I just haven't taken it off. I actually made it for specifically for this girl, who is my Twiggling Elbe, and I specifically made it for her so it would go around her and fit around her elf ears well, which it does. I just haven't put it back on her because the colors are meant, they're her color scheme basically. But Lady is wearing it for right now. So this is a Rami fiber wig, and it's I'll show you. I bought this online almost a year ago from a shop called Divinity Fibers on Etsy, and it comes, Rami fiber is a plant material, so I guess you could consider it a totally vegan fiber, and it comes in roving, so you buy Rami fiber roving, and you pull pieces off of this, cut them kind of the length you want them to be. The fiber length is not extremely long, and I think if I brush out this wig a little more thoroughly, I will probably lose a lot of the length that I have on it. But I used liquid latex. In the past, I've already got fiber all over. This stuff just goes everywhere, and any alpaca, anything that I've used, it just does that. It goes everywhere. But in the past, I've used Mod Podge, which takes forever to dry. Well, I mean, not forever. It dries like if you make a head cap, you basically really need to let it dry overnight if you are going to want to be able to use it to start making your wig. And what I like about the liquid latex is it dries so fast. I can start putting layers on the head cap, making wefts. You know, by the time I've finished making a row of wefts, I can go and put another layer on the head cap, and then I can go make another layer of wefts. And as you're applying the wefts, by the time you've glued those on and then you go back and you make another line of wefts, it's dry again, and you can put the next layer on over the top of that, and it's not going to stick to the lower layer. So I really enjoy working with this because of that. I also like how it's kind of got a rubbery, tacky type of texture to it. So the wig cap is soft and squishy, and you can move it around. It's with Mod Podge, it just becomes this hard, rigid thing. And someone told me a trick about heating it up with a hairdryer and then quickly putting it on the head and kind of squishing it on there to help it stay a little better. But I really, really am liking the latex because you just put it on the head and kind of push it all down and press it into place, and it just stays there real nicely. This one little, I tried to make like a little sideburn, and I did have to put, it's actually not laying too bad. I've had to put a little bit of sticky tack underneath it to kind of make it come down and stay. But I really needed these two sideburns, quotation mark, sideburns to come down because I wanted them to go over the elf ears so that the elf ears could be seen, but the hair isn't like sticking up weirdly in front of them. I hate that when the wig gaps, right, where the goes over the ear, because sometimes the wig cap comes down and then there's this gap with the ear, and I just hate that. So I was doing my best to design it so that it would go over the ear and still be able to see the beautiful elf ears and look more natural with the way it's laying. So yeah, so I there's two different colors. There's the like a burgundy and then a dark brown. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. My part is not the most amazing perfect part, but I was pretty happy with it. So I made this wig. It took me about 3 days. I mean, I wasn't working continuously, just a few hours every day to make the wig. And it was, it's the first time that I've ever enjoyed the process of making a wig, which is nice because now I'm excited to try and to make some more. I really like the Rami fiber. It's very inexpensive. I think this was like $3 or $4. And I still have a ton of it left of these, so I think I could probably get several more wigs out of that. Shipping was like $4 or something like that, so it makes sense to buy several different colors or bags of it. I think it's an ounce. I think it was an ounce, if I remember correctly. So yeah, pretty happy with the fiber. Handling wise, it's very fine and very floaty, which that's how alpaca is. I don't think you'd be able to use a sewing technique with it. I don't think that would work very good, unlike alpaca or even human hair that you could use a sewing technique with. I've been watching a ton of videos. I was reading and watching videos about lace front wigs where they ventilate, and I did order one of the tools, I guess they call it a ventilation needle. I'm not sure. This is all like in Japanese or something. But I ordered one. This is the holder, and then there's several of these different little needles. So I did eventually want to kind of play with that, and you might be able to use Rami fiber for something like that. But I know I've been really interested actually in the yarn wigs, especially since I got that one for Elowen and I loved it so much. So I was kind of playing around making some wefts. It's not a very long fiber length, which is part of yarn wigs, is that they're just not going to be very long. And you could make a really short SD wig, or not really short, but pretty short, or a decent length MSD wig. It would definitely, the Rami fiber is so easy. Like, you make wigs so much quicker. Wefts, you make the wefts so much quicker, but this you have to brush them out, so that it adds that extra step. Even though it's not terribly, it's not like you're brushing for a million years, but you know, you have to make, I don't know, I saw somewhere like a length of wefts that you need for different types of size heads, but you need a whole heck of a lot. You need a lot. That was something I have heard. Lola, snoring girl, here, have a bone. Have a bone. Do you want a bone? Here you go. So, anyways, with the latex, I know I'd heard a lot of people say that they didn't like making wefts with the latex. You do have to be really, you know, you have to have them all laid out, and you don't want to let them touch each other because the stuff will just stick. It'll just stick to itself. So if you tried to stack up the wefts, they would stick to each other. You need to leave them all laid out. But I just would make 2 long rows on 2 different pieces of foil, and let it dry. And literally, if it even takes 5 minutes to dry, I don't think it maybe even takes that long. And then I always like to go and kind of trim up the glue so that you have a really fine little spot to glue down on the wig, so you're not just having piles and piles of glue and latex that you can see. And I think I did pretty good hiding a lot of the glue and the wefts, but I think I could do even better if I tried that again. I can't remember. I think I did. I think I showed this pair of pants that ended up being way too small for twiggling size bodies, and I went back and use every last scrap. I need to come back and attach the button here, but I've got the rivets. And what I did was this fabric is not extremely stretchy, so I actually cut out the pieces. I think they call it on the bias. So there's perpendicular and there's parallel, and then there's bias. But anyways, I just held the fabric, and which direction was the most stretchiness, and for it wasn't straight across or straight up and down, it was to the side. So I just laid the pattern that way, to try to get the maximum stretch that I could. I tried to lay the pattern so that I could get, because I want the most stretch this way, you know, going over her thighs and going over her waist. So I laid the pattern that way, and it made a big difference. It made a big difference. So it actually fits really, really super good. And she can sit fine without weird gapping. So yeah, I don't know what that's called, and probably other seamstress knew all about it and are thinking I'm silly for not knowing about doing that. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about this technique because I think I can go in with some cottons that I never really thought of as a stretchy material, but they are in that bias or that caddy corner, that they have quite a lot of stretch that way. So I'm kind of want to experimenting doing some pants that way, cutting them out crooked on the fabric and seeing what I can get out of it. You said you guys are probably, a lot of you are, yeah, duh. But it was a new discovery for me. Yeah, I've been sewing. I started sewing clothes for my dolls when my twiggling came. My first twiggling ingenue, she came February 2016. And so that's when I first started attempting to try to start sewing clothes, figuring out patterns, you know, how even looking or reading patterns. So it's all, and it's just self-learning and things. So I think I've learned quite a lot, but I know that there's a lot more I could learn. This is a top that I made, that I had actually made for Scarlet, but I like it with these green pants. So this outfit right here that Lady is wearing, this is actually probably, especially with these shoes, these cool boots, would probably be an outfit that Scarlet would wear. Just the kind of little more like active, I guess, like that she's going to be doing an activity or something, instead of sitting around in a pretty dress. I don't think she sits around in pretty dresses a lot. Lola, you're snoring so loud. That snoring girl. Here, let's play with this bone. Oh my goodness, come here, sleepy girl. I can't, I'm too sleepy. I'm too sleepy. Yeah. Yeah. So I was sleeping. She just goes and crawls back in her bed like, how could you bother me? So yeah, I ordered some more Rami fiber, which I was kind of hoping would have been here this weekend, but it just now was shipped. And I think they just basically sent in the label. I don't think they've even dropped it off at the post office yet. So I know that there's probably not very good a likelihood of having it before Thanksgiving. So, which is now is the time that I would actually have some time to use it. After Thanksgiving, I'm working a bunch. But it is what it is. The colors that I ordered are really beautiful, vibrant teal, and some purples and pinks, and because I think of those as more as being ladies' colors. She looks nice in this, especially against her skin tone, but I don't think of them as her colors. I think of these colors a lot as being for this girl, my Elbe. And she is actually wearing an alpaca wig that I made for Caribou Woman that is actually not finished, and I won't move it around, but actually this one side is, I was going to make it a half-shaven wig, but I never came back to it because I hated making the wig so much. So I just flopped over part of it, and yeah, so it's not finished, even though I've disguised it somewhat. But I have enough of this that I could definitely finish it, and I should do that. It's really beautiful alpaca fiber. But this is my my elbe, and I am still strongly considering that she's going to be Keon, who is my, she's basically a Tibetan, I don't want to say that she's a monk, but she's very Buddhist trained scholar character. And I think that was something I've been having in mind for, you know, the last year and a half that I've been waiting, that was who she was going to be. So we'll see. I'm thinking on it because I still am thinking about, I think it's oryx, twiggling oryx, has a very Asian features to her, maybe her. So I don't know. I definitely, whenever I look at her and think about her, I'm already thinking of her as Keon, so that might just be going to be the way it is. That happens sometimes. But I've been enjoying what time I have with the dolls. I've been enjoying it, just playing around with them. I finished the pants. Here's the gold pair. I don't think I'd finished these. I think I had been working on them. So I made, they're all made from this stretchy velour. So there's this pair, this gold stretchy velour, and lined, got a little fly, but and then I made the pair that my Elbe is wearing, this brown fabric. And I don't have any more of this brown velour, but I really want to get some because I really like, it's definitely, these aren't all the same texture. I really like the texture of this one too. It was a little bit thinner pile, which I liked. It's just got a more, to me it has a more, that looks more like velvet to me. Versus this is like, oh wow, that's definitely velour, if you know what I mean. But it's stretchy, so it's really nice for these pants because they're very form-fitting, and I like that for the really curvaceous twiggling bodies. The other thing I wanted to show you, I haven't finished painting these yet. They've got a layer of sealant on them so that I can start painting them. These friggin' adorable ears. See, are they gonna just be totally, the light is almost too much. These are ears from, was a YoSD. Like, look how big these ears are. This was from a YoSD doll, Dollzone, I think they call him Deer Boy, Dollzone Deer Boy. He was an event doll, really, really cute. Like, the face is really cute. I think I saw one on, I went and looked to see if there was one available, and there was one on eBay for like $368 or something, which is way more than I'd be willing to pay. But he does have a really, really cute face, and he's got hooved feet, though I think they did that a little awkwardly. These Dollzone Deer event dolls that came out more recently, a year or so ago, I really like the sculpting of those hooves. They're really cute. Here she is over here. This is my, the body of my Dollzone Cindy doll with a Doll Pama Ruby head on it. But her little hooved legs are just so friggin' cute. She's adorable. She's more, I would consider her body size. I mean, she's more like a Pookie size instead of a true USD. So I'm not sure how big the deer boy is. But anyways, the pictures of him, it's about this, the head's not much smaller than Hurla's head here. So these are just freaking huge, which somebody commented that they thought they looked too big, and I was like, no, no, you don't understand. The bigger the ears are on a deer, the better. I think that's one of, like, having really big, Hurla used to be a deer character, and she didn't actually have antlers of any kind, but she had big cute ears, and I love drawing these big cute fluffy ears. The sculpting on these is just, oh, it's so beautiful. It's, the light is just, I don't know if you can kind of see that. But the sculpting of the hairs on it is just so nice. And I got these for a really good price. I was so excited, so excited. And they actually fit Hurley really well. So I have a layer of sealant on them, and I might put one or two more layers. I'm just using Liquitex and sponging it on, which is going fine for me. And it did dry, it dried super quick, but I need to put a few more layers. And then what I plan to do is paint it with some really thin layers of acrylic until I get it to almost matching as best as I can her skin tone. And then I'll go in and blush them and paint them. So they'll go with her a little better, because it's really hard to photograph right now because they're so white and she's so dark. If you get them in good focus so that you can see the details, then she's so dark you can't see anything, and if you are focused on her well, then the ears are just, you can't see anything, they're just bright white. But oh my god, I was so I just love them, love them. Like I said, you don't understand. Deer ears need to be ginormous. They need to be as big as freaking possible. So it's perfect. It's kind of like me and elf ears. Like, the bigger the elf ears are, then the more I like them too. That's why I liked Morpheo so much. So, okay, what else was I going to do? Let me check. Okay, this was the other thing that I wanted to show you guys. This is the corner where the dollhouse was gonna go, but I ended up putting it over here because of better access and lighting. So I had moved this table, which a lot of my SD dolls were sitting on, and this weekend, once again, while I was gone, was very nice. My husband came in and put this shelf up for me, and he, you know, I get home and he admits, he starts this kind of, the way he started talking about it, that I had to move your dolls, and I was like, because a lot of them were kind of, you know, they have stuff that falls off. They have an antler that's maybe not on there right. Up there in the corner, up above, up here, is my my Zoom Amber body, and that thing is a mess. I need to put it someplace where it can stand. It doesn't sit, but I had it sitting over here awkwardly, not expecting that anybody would be moving things around, but he did fine. He moved my dolls carefully and didn't break anything, and put up this shelf up here for me, and it's pretty high up. At first I didn't know if I liked that it was so high up, but I do. And he thought about it, and he thought that this would be best because the dolls could stand up underneath fine like this, and if they were any dolls sitting up above here, which I'll show you, I'll put Lady up here, because she's another SD doll. So even if I set an SD doll up there, the legs are not right in the face. They're not right in the face of the dolls underneath. Because I hate that. I hate when you have the feet dangling over and they're blocking the dolls beneath. So I was just really grateful that he put the shelf up. I really appreciated it, and it kind of let me, that I could kind of spread some stuff out here. And I want to get some more of these stands, so that I can safely put my big dolls over here standing up. So I could have a row standing behind there, a row in front, either sitting or standing. Could do either one, and could put more dolls up there. And I could even do something like having a row standing on stands and then some sitting in front. So look at all the room. I can get so much more dolls now, guys. Let's go ahead and come over here and talk about the dollhouse. I haven't done a lot with it. I haven't been feeling well, so standing up to put wallpaper up or do stuff with it has been difficult. I can't do it for very long. But I have been looking at fabric for curtains, kind of looking online, looking for fabrics that I think I might like, and I'm still trying to decide on the fabrics that I want, so that I can make curtains. And I don't want them all to be the same, you know, each rooms would be different. So I'm just spending a lot of time kind of thinking about those things, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for me, just looking at stuff, and I'm putting inspiration pieces together about what I might want to do. I can do that in bed on my iPhone, you know, just looking on the internet. So that's been really fun for me. I talked to my father-in-law about maybe changing some of the shelves, because what I have found is this room right here is the room that I tend to play with the most and enjoy the most, and it's because I can stand dolls up, even SD dolls. Because it's so much bigger a room, it gets way better light. These smaller rooms just are very dark. Even when I have good light from the sun, you can just see the back there. It's just very dark. And they can't the MSDs, the taller ones can't stand up, or if they have a hat on, or ears, horns, you know, that sort of thing. So what I asked him, how difficult would it be to remove this shelf? So this shelf right there, and that shelf right there. So basically it would reduce the number of rooms to 4 instead of 6. So I would lose 2 rooms, but I think they would be much more utilized rooms. And this is the kind of thing that I wish I could have known before he put all this energy into building it like it is. There's the complications with it are that these cross shelves are actually providing quite a lot of structural importance to the construction. There is, you can see that there is a support beam back there. So I don't know, we're going to talk about it more at Thanksgiving when we'll be together. If maybe putting a support beam in the attic that's like this one below here. Sorry for the movement. I hope I'm not making anybody nauseated. Hello. And if that would make it feasible and safe for the structure to remove these shelves. So we'll see. I think that something can be done. And I've got to be a pain in the butt about things. But I think right away, you know, I just was doing everything in this room and enjoying this room the best. And what I need to do for these bottom ones is just get a piece of this plexiglass like that's down here and have a piece that I can set there. It wouldn't be on hinges or anything. It would just be something that I could take in, put in and take out easily, just to keep little Snoopy doggies from getting into things they shouldn't. But yeah, that's the status of the dollhouse. It's just so pretty. I love the attic. I think it's just so pretty. It's like a real dollhouse. Okay, I think that I will call it good here, and I hope you guys are having a good Monday and the rest of your week goes okay too. I'll see you later. Bye bye.